Alrighty. It is starting. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
What comes after 4?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Curbside Podcast presents Dice Hard with a Vengeance. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Twitch and YouTube. You can find our link on Twitter, though. We are, we're still kind of recovering from last week, for those of you who got a chance to watch the live stream. I'm going to leave the DM to that, but we're in for an interesting night, to say the least. But as always, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, tap that little bell on your YouTube app so you never miss an upload. Also, listen to us on Spotify. And if you want, Mr. Corallos, could you show off your shirt, please? The new Curbside Podcast t-shirt, available at prowrestlingtees.com/LostBoyKirby. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. We'll start off with the oath, and we'll get this show started. I, Nerimos Torrin, do solemnly swear to not be a murder hobo. Lady V.
Oh, I, Lady Vare, do solemnly swear to not be a murder hobo.
Natil.
I, Natil Starag, do solemnly swear to not be a murder hobo.
Corallos.
I, Corallos Abrazar, after last week, I just don't know if I can make this swear.
We're right there with you, my friend. Standoff.
I, Standoff, promise and solemnly swear under the oath that I am not a murder hobo.
Mr. DM, take it away.
All right, guys. Welcome back. When we last left off, it was to make the long story short, we had the final confrontation, what we thought would be the final confrontation with the Rakshasa that had been haunting a couple people in the party's nightmares, and specifically the two sisters where this all started, Natil and Starag. And to bring this all full circle, you found out that it was apparently your sister originally making the deal with a hag in Black Bog Swamp due to some, we'll say, some sibling rivalry and some unresolved issues. She made a deal and somehow got connected to a Rakshasa. And we found out that Rakshasa was posing as the current Chamberlain of the city of Brine. And you guys decided to basically try to confront this problem, and especially once you were wrongfully accused of murder and imprisoned. And upon breaking out and going to the estate of one Sephirus Holder, finding out his wrongdoings, you found the lair to the Rakshasa, and last week was the culmination of that adventure, where you finally fought Reagus the Raksasha, and the battle went well. And in the waning moments, as Reagus tried to flee, he grabbed an unconscious Starag and plane shifted to another plane of existence. And that's where we're picking up this week. You guys are still in the throne room. And a portal, the way that you came in, has opened behind you. And the last thing that you heard was the sound of Sir Medagast kicking his helm in frustration. And that's where we'll immediately pick up this week, with the clanging of Medagast's helm against the ground as the throne room grows silent.
I look around at the party. I look at Medagast, who had just kicked his helm. So now what?
Standoff is going to make him. I'm pretty sure Standoff is still invisible at this moment.
Yeah, I believe you still are. Yes.
Yeah. So he is going to reveal himself against the wall, and he's just gonna look around and be like, "Where'd they go?" He's gonna start looking around, looking at his cloak.
What a coward. Just. Like, genuinely angry. So angry. Very quiet, very angry.
Yeah.
Torrin just chucks Chaos Star at one of the statues.
He leaves a crack in the statue. The statues, by the way, the ones that remain have gone silent. They're not belching fire anymore.
We should still destroy them.
Might want to save our strength. Those beasts are still around. He just got. There could be more. We killed most of them, but there could be more in the walls. We should probably leave before wasting more of our energy fighting. But it's up to you guys.
Torrin begrudgingly picks up Chaos Star. If he's right.
Any last minute looking around, now's the time to do it.
Is there any magic pinging up at that throne, or was everything on?
Well, we've passed the time of your first one. Are you casting it again?
Yeah, I'll use it again.
Okay. Well, that takes 10 minutes, so you're sitting on the ground starting the ritual.
Detect magics at will. That's not a ritual, it's an invocation.
You switched it up as an invocation?
Yeah, I've always had it as an invocation.
Oh, okay.
My rituals were identify and comprehend languages.
Gotcha. All right. Well, it does not take 10 minutes then. The throne itself? No.
Well,
It's just your own and then the stats.
Yeah, you get the pings from the statues that remain.
That's okay.
But that's it.
Yeah.
where? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Standoff's gonna walk up to a statue and just give it a nice right hook.
All right, roll an attack. Roll me a d20.
Roll for broken fingers.
Gauntlets of Ogre Strength.
Oh yeah, I forgot you had that.
That's going to be 60, that's 19.
19 hits. Roll your damage.
Nice.
Cool. Wonders never see.
Unarmed damage.
Hmm.
What is unarmed damage? 1d4.
D4.
D4.
You do you get anything extra from the gauntlets?
No.
Okay.
No, it's just it acts as if
Just
you
boost
have
your
strength
strength.
at 19.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, it's a D4 plus your strength modifier.
All right, so it's gonna be 2 plus 3 is 5.
All right. You can crack it a little bit.
What are you smiling at, buddy?
This particular one is actually him. The statue is like deep in thought, looking at like a tome. Just
The thinker, more like the stinker, jerk. Kind of saunters off.
just hear his metagas goes and kind of very sulkingly kind of going up to his helm, and he just kind of like tries to push the vent out. He puts it on. It's kind of off skewed, but good enough.
Well, he's probably not going to come back here.
We can still keep that skull on us as long as we know not to touch it this time. And get sent back in, maybe. Maybe it'll be done with it. I doubt it. You never know. I think it's time to go.
There is a portal that back the way you came, how you entered the chamber, that has opened back up.
Who's going?
Is that the only way in and out?
Yes.
Okay.
I just stand up. I don't even look at anyone. I just go through the portal.
Okay. So Nat goes first.
Oh, did we killed the Nothics, correct?
Yeah, they're dead.
And have they already been looted?
Nope.
No, they can do that.
Your ranger just went through the door.
We're not really in a looting mindset right now.
Yeah.
No, you still got the one from the archive. You got one Nothic eye from the one you killed in the archive. There was 2 that you killed in the archive. One you couldn't salvage the eye. One you could.
Wolf is going to go over to one of the Nothics and take out a small rusty dagger.
Roll me a survival check, standoff. First roll of the night.
700 and some odd year old. He must have.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, yeah, no, there's not that many
Dexterity's
sides to the
freaking
die. What's your modifier?
Even with the biggest die that I've ever seen, it doesn't go that high.
Nope.
Not even a die. That's a ball.
Right?
Numbers written on it.
It's like a soccer ball.
That's not gonna be that good. It's gonna be an 11.
An 11. You try, but you cannot salvage it. You kind of mangle the carcass a little bit, and it's very difficult to, without practice hands on, removing monster bits. It's kind of tough.
Can I cut off its hand and take it with me?
Yeah, you can do that. That's easy enough. With an 11, that's easy enough. You can cut.
Okay.
It takes you a few minutes, but you do finally remove the hand.
I got a dull, rusty dagger. Really show him what for.
If it
It's
wasn't
kinda
dead,
like
it's probably
that-
gonna die of tetanus.
Yeah, it's kind of like that whole feeling that we all went through, like the first time you ever cut steak. You kind of mangled it a little bit. You didn't know what you were doing, yeah.
Yeah. Alright. So now I've got a Nothic paw. Or hand.
Yeah, go ahead and add that to your inventory. You have a, Nothic hand, claw. Nothic claw.
Okay.
Tim, can I try with the other one?
Sure. Roll me a survival check.
No, that's a 1.
Oh no.
This thing just...
Torrin, you're kind of like, I got this. I've seen Nat do this several times. You pull out a dagger from your, your adventures pack, and you're like, I got this. I've seen her do this enough. Yeah. And you stab. You do, like, you put the blade at the edge where you think, yep, this is where I start prying, but
Right.
you don't think that. Oh, the blade just went directly into the eye,
just...
and you're just like, oh no.
Oh no.
And you just pull the dagger out, and it kind of oozes, and you realize that just stab the eye, it's useless now.
You can't do nothing eye things.
I'm gonna stab it like 2 more times.
With a 1, yeah, that's pretty much what you do out of anger. You just butcher the thing, just like.
One to mutilate
It is
I feel a little bit
really
better
dead.
now.
It is really dead.
It's so dead. Alright. I don't really feel like going. I'd rather go behind a crunchy person, but I'll go next if no one else is going.
I'll go next.
Alright, I'll go after Torrin.
I'll follow V.
Metagas lingers.
Really?
That roll? I'm gonna say yeah. He goes and he picks up the goblet that was discarded and takes it with him and proceeds through the gateway.
He's becoming a little adventurer. We'll make a looter out of you yet.
So, Nat, you're the first one that went through. So, immediately upon entering the portal that opened up, it takes you back to this central chamber where you guys started and how you ended up in that circular chamber with the different doorways. And as you come through what was now the opened hexagonal door, the first thing that hits you is that there's people here in the chamber.
No.
And you hear a few raised voices. Darling, I told you, I didn't know where this thing would end up. And you see this elven woman in really nice black robes with gold embroidery on it, and elven-haired, blonde-haired elven woman. And she goes, yes, I'm aware. And you just see as this elven was dusting herself off, clearly just entered the chamber and didn't know that there was a 20-foot drop. Around them are a few armored guards and a human gentleman, kind of portly, kind of like a walrus-type mustache, spectacles, and there seems to be an entourage waiting for you. And each one of you see this as you follow, and as each one of you start to come out of the portal, you see that, oh, there's people here.
Oh.
And you do recognize Mina.
Torrin slowly puts his morning stars on his belt.
Okay. Yeah, there's an armored host of guards, with what appears to be an armor, a captain. You see Philomena Bordeaux. You see a blonde-haired elven woman with holding a staff in black and gold robes, and this portly human gentleman that I described.
Good evening. Or morning.
Yeah, it was evening when we left, darling, since we're not sure where exactly we are or what time it is, but it was evening when we left.
Well, welcome to our little nightmare.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Madam Philomena, I know you don't care for me, but I've never been more happy to see you in my life.
And kind of abruptly, the elven woman kind of speaks up, and she goes, "Are these the ones?" "Yes, darling, and these are the ones I told you about." Almost immediately, there's a of her staff on the ground, and there's a magical aura which takes up the entirety of the chamber. And in a very sharp tone, she says, "I want answers, and if someone lies to me, now I'll know. Speak."
Well, I'm Standolf. I'm 736 years old. My blood type is 7. I like the color green. No red. No green. Looks around. Actually, orange. I like orange.
You just hear Midagast slumping and his armor just...
Oh dear God, we're gonna die.
Just wondering. I know of her. Have I ever actually met her?
You have met her. This is Vereen Shadeleaf. She is the Archmage, member of Brian's Council. Of your dealings with her, just for history and everything, a fair but brusque woman.
Yeah, I'll kind of just step forward just a tiny bit to be like, Madam Councilwoman, now that I'm Lady Berenice of the Courtesans Guild. This is a group of travelers that I had hired to protect me some time back before we got caught up in this unpleasantness. The unpleasantness being that it appears someone we all trusted wasn't exactly what they seemed, or who they seemed, and it has caused a great deal of trouble for us in Brian.
Go on.
Unfortunately, it turns out that the Chamberlain has been a bit of a monster behind everyone's backs, and we've been entangled in that unfortunateness. He was an accomplice with Mr. Sephir's Holder, as I'm sure you went through the unsightly.
At that, there's a little bit of an interruption from the portly gentleman. Yes, indeed, we did see, in fact, the man's chamber. It was a ghastly sight. Absolutely horrendous that such a man could weasel his way onto the council. My goodness. And you get as Mina kind of...
Do I know this guy?
For this, roll me a history check.
Standoff do that as well to see if he actually knows this one.
Yeah. I'll let you two roll history checks for this. 26.
Oh, that's an 11.
11. V. No, and V, it's kind of... You get just from the way he's dressed and the fact that he's here, you're like, well, he's important, or at least he thinks he is. Standoff, you have ran into this gentleman before. He is a member of the Merchants Guild of Brine, a very respected man, known as Teledor Rex.
That's a name.
Yes. He is a very ambitious and politically minded man. And a little buffoonish, but an honest man.
Standoff know his latest ventures.
With that role, you know that the man does take up hunting as a pastime, but other than that, nothing specific.
I've got something in the back pocket for some silliness, but I'll let everyone.
Yeah. Mina kind of like, you know, and not rudely, but she's gonna let them speak, darling. Let them speak. Continue. Yes, we did see the chambers of Sephir's Holder. We also found him with a dagger in his neck.
Excuse me. Nerimos, Torrin, members of the Typhonsbane Hunters Guild. That was not our fault. We did not kill Sephir's Holder.
There's just the Lady Varine is just nodding.
Lady V, you may continue.
I don't think there's any unforward way to say this. It appears the Chamberlain for some time has been a fiend preying on Brine, and I mean that in the most literal sense. Reagus was a monster called a Rakshasa this entire time.
At that, there's no role for that. At that, Varine, her eyes get the size of teacups.
I'm trying not to look smug, because like she knows I'm telling the truth.
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to be smug here.
You gather just from her reaction that is news to her.
He'd been in... It seems that he's had some sort of enthrallment over Holder for quite some time, to say nothing of his deeds, which are nefarious enough. It appears we've all been fooled for quite some time, and he has done terrible things that have unfortunately been pinned on my party members, these upstanding individuals who have been protecting me through this entire ordeal, and indeed have had Brian's best interest in heart this entire And that's the truth, man. You can trust that. These are good people who have lost a lot tonight, all in the service of this city.
Some more than others.
At the ending of your tale, her eyes narrow, and she simply just looks over to Mina and says, "They're telling the truth, or at least they're not deliberately lying. I would know." And Mina just kind of nods. She goes, I figured. Where is Reagus now?
Blood.
With my sister.
That is unfortunate.
Coward.
Well, first things first. The obvious will be with what is presently the best that we have for the council at the moment. All charges against you and your companions are dropped. Clearly, what's been at work here is much, much deeper than what anyone realized. We will begin there. Next, there will be definitely a changing of the guard as far as the leadership of Brian is concerned. And we will get to that.
As this is going on, Standoff takes out one of the stolen white pieces of cloth and hands it over to Nat.
What was that from?
The linen closet.
The linen closet that I stole.
He hands one that tells over to Nat.
Just hands one over to her. It's like, I understand, honey. It's okay. Let it out.
You do notice one of the armored guards there walks over behind Lady Shadeleaf and whispers something to her, and she nods. And she begins to speak. She goes, "Well, it means little, but accept my apologies on behalf of the Council of Brine. You have been falsely charged and falsely accused and hunted as criminals. And I will spend my waking moments now figuring out how this happened, and more importantly, how it was allowed to happen." And she kind of exchanges glances with Mina. And Mina kind of nods and goes, "We all want the answers to that question. But first, can we get out of here, darlings?"
Please.
And let me look up Varine's spells.
Well, we trust your not inconsiderable skill to see to that, madam.
I'm sorry, what? I was...
Like, say, yeah, balls in your court, lady. We got no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Standoff is going to kind of like shimmy over to Torrin, very, very noticeably shimmy. He's trying to be nonchalant and inconspicuous about it, but he's very, open to it. He gets next to Torrin. He kind of goes into his ear and goes, "What are we gonna do about that dragon?"
Oh.
Did you whisper that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool.
Your stupid nose.
The fuck if I know?
Like, is there a way to get back here? I mean,
I never want to see this place again.
Dusty.
If I ever see this place again, Standoff, it'll be too fucking soon.
He's having a mild, deliberate coughing fit.
All right. Hey, really quick, who's your tiefling friend? She seems very knowledgeable.
Oh, that's Madame Philomena Bordeaux. She's only the most dangerous person in all of Brine.
Fear her.
I heard that, darling. Don't make me blush.
Standoff like
Yeah,
that.
she's starting to like me.
Standoff's over here like this as she speaks.
Yeah, she
said
heard
it.
that.
You said it too. And of
Alright.
course, Standoff, you know, kind of with that shocked look, he's like, act. He takes off his hat, showing the mimic sitting on his head, looking like a small treasure chest. And he just comes up, Standoff, traffic wizard Tington, son, the third, Esquire, madam. And he places his hat back on. And just kind of shimmies back over to where he was standing before, and kind of looks at Metagast and shrugs his shoulders. Like, I don't know.
Sorry, I'm looking up wizard spells while you guys do this. There's a specific one I was looking for, and I didn't have it prepped. Holy shit, that is my fault.
He's having a laughing.
I just want the specifics on it. I think this one will work, but... Okay, conjure a
We're
portal,
not
link in
gonna-
an uncovered space. You can raise a portal with circular opening. Portal
Out
lasts-
of the blue, we just hear Tarook. Hi, madam.
Tarook, not now.
Yeah, right. This is the wow. This is the quietest Tarook's ever been. You finally
Okay. No, she's got this.
I think
Okay.
he's broken.
Varine looks in and she goes, well, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 people and 1 undead as she points at the Metagast in the armor.
That's a gray area, ma'am.
And she just kind of a knowing look at Metagast and he's just kind of
I'm gonna put my arm on him and just be like, he's given quite a lot in service of us and Brian tonight. He's a friend.
well, I guess the cat's out the bag now.
She's very smart here.
And she just kind of nods. All right. This will only be open for a short time. Make sure you get through. And with a hand motion, a new portal, different than the one that opened for the doorway. This one is more of like a pale green color to the magic arcane aura, as a gateway doorway opens. As everybody starts making their way through, you see is what remains of the Council of Brine went through the door.
Yeah, I'm a follow.
No,
Nah, after you.
that's only for a minute, so everybody better get through.
I go.
Wow.
You find yourself back inside the estate of Sephir's Holder, back into that very disturbing inner sanctum, and as you each walk through the doorway, excuse me, you're back, and you do see now, indeed, Sephir's Holder displayed on that weird eye altar with a dagger in his throat.
Oh, this is tragic.
Oh no.
Walk over and just stare at him. Very hard.
Make a medicine check.
I don't think I have a modifier to that. 15.
He's dead.
He dead.
He's dead.
He dead. I just
Standoff is like, this guy looks familiar. And he takes out one of the cloths that he stole, and he pats himself down really quick. S.H. Back in the pocket.
I just like barely put a hand on Lady V, but like, well, at least you didn't do it. Kept my word.
I appreciate that, but not much of a comfort.
I'm well aware.
And you do I'm gonna say V. Give me a perception check.
Jesus, did I hear that?
Heard something.
That's an 18.
18.
18, 23.
Oh, 23.
18 plus 5.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 23. Out the corner of your eye, as everybody's kind of, taking up the space of the room and kind of acclimating. Out the corner of your eye, you catch Mina looking at the body and just say to herself, "Sloppy." And that's it.
Is everybody kind of filing out of the room, like all the official people?
Yes. Yeah. No. You get the idea that nobody really wants to hang around a room with dead bodies that have been posed in.
Is everyone looking for the bodies? Do they have people like already working on that, or?
Now that you say that, you do notice that some of the armored guard that are there, now that they know that their services aren't required for arresting you guys, they are starting to respectfully treat and bring the bodies down from their horrible House of Horrors poses.
And I don't remember. I didn't recognize any of the women besides Teodara, right? None of them.
No.
They're just women.
And Mina hangs for a minute, and then leaves with the rest.
Okay, I'm gonna let it go, and yeah, I'm gonna linger a bit, like depending on what the party does. I'll either leave last or I'm gonna linger back a bit and just kind of keep staring around.
As you guys come out of that inner chamber, you come back to the inside of Sephiroth Holder's estate. Like I said, you do see there are now servants now that are kind of trying to clean up the mess you guys made on your way in, and you do see as you make your way outside of the estate, they do have two of the bodies of Sephiroth's personal security that you guys killed. They're off to the side, and you also see 3 people waiting for you on the way on your way out. You see a Goliath with a goblin on his shoulder and a little gnome, all 3 waiting for you guys.
I'll take up the rear for the party.
Before we step out, I put a hand on Corallos. Look about getting the things off our friends back there. You know what you. And as far as those 3, I guess I'll go address them.
Okay. We'll start with Torrin. While I get my notes out. Torrin, as you walk up, you see it is Dorb with Shriek on his shoulder and Champ, and they seem to be all very expectantly waiting on you guys. And you already notice Shriek is kind of scanning the group and already kind of doing the math already. Champ, you also notice, you get where those 2 seem to be looking and realizing something's off. Dorb, hey guys.
Hi, buddy.
So the plan worked, huh?
Almost.
Kind of, but kind of.
Well, the plan that we talked about with you, swimmingly. The only thing we lost was a horse. And he just shoots a shot over at Nat like, things haven't done.
You notice there are a couple of the armed guards that are taking the remains of it's been moved off to the side so you guys could walk out the front door. So you would have noticed that immediately as you come off the carriage, the cart that you guys had used. It is completely demolished. Yeah, you're not, that. Sorry, it's totaled. You can't take that to the body shop. And you see as they're already, a couple of them are digging a hole for the horse. But
Well, at least it's getting a proper burial.
Right?
But yeah, yeah. Dorb kind of looks over, and goes, "Yeah, I see. Well, I guess the brothers are gonna have to get a new horse."
Yeah, they are, buddy.
I'll reimburse them for the horse.
Make sure it's a big one this time.
Tougher one. Tough horse.
A steed.
A stallion, baby.
Do I have a chance of catching back up to Mina while they're all talking to the group?
Yeah, I'll say that you kind of go off to the side to go catch up with Mina.
I see what's happening here, and I'm like, I don't want any part of this. And I'm gonna go towards Mina.
Yeah, I got you. All right, so you're third in line. All right, so first, Torrin. Dorb's kind of rubbernecking, kind of. Where's Angel? You notice this. I mean, it's not even a roll. You just notice Shriek's hand kind of pats him on the top of his head, and Shriek's sitting on top of his shoulder. Yeah. And he's just kind of you get that Shriek's already kind of realizing.
Warren, it should be my place.
I mean, you don't have to.
No.
I got this.
It's better coming. It's my responsibility.
Dorb just kind of cocks his head.
Well, guys, just gonna be upfront honest with you. Angel was Isla was kidnapped. The Rakshasa took her. Before we had a chance to finish him off. And it's my fault.
It's not your fault, Matt.
Torrin, shut up. Please.
You get Dorb. He can't quite put that together. Shriek is kind of ruffling the top of his head, like he's just kind of scratching the top of his head. And even Champ kind of cuts across it and kind of goes, "We'll explain it to him." You know where she is.
No. He fled with her. We don't know where.
He just up and poof, vanished.
I'm really sorry, you guys.
You gather that Dorb kind of understands, but he's not a very intelligent being. So he realizes what you're saying is sad, but he doesn't quite understand why. It's almost like talking to a child about something like that.
I try another tactic with Dorb. Angel went on a very special mission, and she decided that she had to do this on her own. She'll come back once once she is done with her job. But she's very proud of you, Dorb.
He kind of smiles. There's a light punching at Dorb's thigh, and he goes, "Let's get out of their way."
Oh,
And Shriek kind of seeing the same thing. Shriek's kind of like, "Yeah, we'll be at the guild." And they kind of excuse themselves.
actually kind of like that big knucklehead.
Corallos. First, we'll deal with the half-orc, who was the kind of like the elite leader of the security force. What you get from him is a +1 greatsword and a set of plate armor that is, in fact, and you're identifying this, I assume.
That will take 10 minutes, but I will do it.
Okay, yeah. Well, you know, a lot of these things are happening at the same time. So, for this, you find it is a set of plate armor that is fire resistant, and a +1 greatsword. And that is everything that the half-orc had on him. The sword dancer. Ba-da-ba-ba. Oh, look at that. I actually did bring the card out for it. One of the swords is, in fact, called a dancing sword.
Look at that.
Nice.
I am sending the photo of the info to you guys. Hope that worked. Basically, the basic of this is you can use a bonus action to toss this magic sword into the air and speak a command word. When you do so, the sword begins to hover and it flies up to 30 feet and it attacks one creature of your choice within 5 feet of it. The sword uses your attack roll and ability score modifier for your damage rolls. While the sword hovers, you can use a bonus action to cause it to fly up to the 30 feet. And as a part of the same bonus action, you can cause the sword to attack one creature. So basically, on a bonus action, you can activate this thing, and then on your next turn, you can use your bonus action to move it and attack with it. After the hovering sword attacks for a 4th time, it flies up to 30 feet and tries to return to your hand. You don't have a hand free; it just returns to you and hits the ground. If the sword has no unobstructed path to you, it moves as close to you as it can. But like if you're like behind a wall, basically it'll hit the wall and hit the ground, basically. So if there's something like in the way, like if you're hiding behind something, it's not gonna like move around stuff. It's like a one-way trip, and it'll get as close to you as it can. Yeah, and it doesn't hover anymore. Once you make 4 attacks with it, it's kind of like, okay, magic's done, and it comes back.
Dope. The other sword that she was using was not magical. It was a Moon Maiden sword. Actually, it is magical. I apologize. It's just different. Moon Maiden sword. It is 1d8 plus 4 for damage, and you add 2d10 radiant.
Wow.
Nice.
It's a long sword. So you got dancing sword and a Moon Maiden sword. And upon that, Corallos, going over all that stuff, you do talk to one of the Brine town guards who explains to you that basically they came across the 2 bodies, and that was it. If there was any other of his security force, they are long gone.
Figures.
This will take that one back to the group.
Yeah, that'll take you a little while to get through all that. So, V, you went back to Mina, and Mina is talking with a couple of the people that you saw, Lady Vereen, Teledor.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of politely step up and join whatever they're talking about if they'll let me.
At the media, there wasn't like it was anything off to the side. Just from what you understand, you overheard a couple comments about what to do with now the vacancy of a chamberlain, and also Sephiroth Holder's position on the council, and who and what might be good timing on replacing those people.
Yeah, I'm just gonna step up to Philomena and put a hand on her to say, Madam, to Vereen, sort of we greatly appreciate all of your assistance, sending in the cavalry like you did for us. It was very well timed. Well, I'll be forever grateful for that.
A slight nod, not cold, but just a slight nod of, acknowledgement, and she just simply she says, "At your service. I'm sorry Sorry you ended up in as deep as you did, but we are also grateful for you finding out the truth."
If it betters Brian and all the citizens that live here, I'll consider it an honor to help serve the council. Again, I'm very lucky to have had. That was a harrowing ordeal. Incredibly, I'm very lucky to have had these fine people assisting me.
Yes, ma'am, delighted, absolutely enchanted. And you see as this guy kind of cuts right into the conversation. Once again, not very rudely, but he seems to be pleasant enough, and extending a hand and probably an overly aggressive handshake that you're like, oh, give me my hand back. Yes, delighted, and we are certainly, as he kind of adjusts his spectacles, we are certainly upset with all of the evil goings on that apparently we were all ignorant to.
Terrible things happen when complacency becomes an issue. I really do apologize, though. I feel like I remember someone so spry and sprightly.
Truer words were never spoken, madam, and that's why action is needed now. We need to find absolute people. We need people to stand up against the tyranny that faces us. We need the people to stand up against the evils of this world and stand for Brian.
You shoot Philomena like a what kind of a look? It's like a.
She is one of the most guarded people that you know. She is bordering on amusement, but also exasperation.
Right.
It's a mixture of the two.
How tall is he?
He's like 5'9", 5'10".
He's a normal sized person. Just
yeah.
Not like a little guy or anything. All right. Well, give him like a very firm and polite kind of like handshake and be like, again, thank you so much for your assistance. We're here whenever you need us. We are quite tired and ready to head for home. I hope I could borrow Madame Philomena for a moment, if that's not too forward of my side.
Certainly, I have business with Lady Vereen. Absolutely, thank you. It was delighted to meet you. Absolutely enchanted. And
before he saunters off, kind of like.
Then he fades off into the distance.
What we got, Nate?
I say before he saunters off, can standoff have like 30 seconds with this guy?
Yeah, he's not
God,
going
yes, please.
Lady V, do your thing.
No, I just need to talk to Philomena. You can hop in and then I'll go back.
Yeah, okay. Mina kind of like, yes, well, excuse us for a moment. She's just kind of like, get me out now, away. Like,
politely and kind of like lean on her, like very friendly and kind of lead her away. Sort of in like, oh, I get to talk to you, kind of like, oh, I'm so happy to see you.
Yes, yeah, but she's just kind of, there's also a whisper in your ear of, get me out of here.
A fucking drink.
but she does kind of take you off to the side to where you two can talk, and she kind of, okay. He's a lovely man, if not a bit
Yes, fine.
zealous.
Kind of as quietly as I can, just ask her, where is Yadara? Did she make it back to the light?
I don't know. And she kind of whispers, I saw her for a moment, and she's been missing, darling. Without saying too much, she is responsible for her actions.
Is hers a name on anyone's mind or tongue at the moment?
No.
Is that Lee?
She, well, as you know, she's one of us. And, I do not know on whose authority she was acting, darling, but it wasn't mine.
I'm pretty sure she was acting on the authority of getting herself out of there safely.
Yes, we'll go with that.
I'm sure we will. And if we find her, what exactly are we doing about it? Surely she needs to be home and safe, right? Kind of like trying to hint, like, if we find her, is this a priority for us?
No. But, any news of it would be welcome all the same.
All right. I assume it's safe to go home now.
Darling, I hope so. It has been a long day. More so for you, you lot, I imagine.
I'm pretty sure I'm still singed from the lair actions.
Oh yeah, no, you guys haven't healed at all. So you guys are still like, yeah, there's the smell of...
For the first time, like, definitely burnt up. I think it's time to go home. Does she have her own figure if she goes home? Or are we walking? How's this working?
I'm sorry, it depends on where you guys are going.
I'm going straight. Everybody else can do what they want.
You're going where?
I'm going back to the light. It's definitely right.
Okay. That's up to you guys as the party. If everybody's there, if you want to talk to them, except Isla's friends have gone back to the Typhon's Bane.
Yeah, I mean, and then be ready to head back home whenever that's either the plan or, yeah, I'm gonna go sit near a carriage or something if there's one that goes going back to the light.
Mm-hmm. Rest of the party, what are you doing?
Standoff, after hearing his the conversation between I think his name was Beldan Rex.
Yes, Teledor. Teledore Rex.
Teledor Rex and Lady No. He decided to do what he did in the cave and kind of conspicuously, very noticeably waddle himself over in his general direction. So he was kind of like...
You see he is locked in conversation with Vare, Shadeleaf. You also see a look very, it's kind of similar, of desperation, of someone, please rescue me from this conversation. And upon seeing you, it's like, oh my goodness, look, it's one of the heroes of the hour. And it almost immediately takes Teledor's attention off of her to you. Delighted. And he kind of just sticks a hand in your, basically right at you. But I don't believe I've had the pleasure. What is your name? What is your name, sir?
My name. Oh, stop shaking me and I'll tell you my name. I am Standoff, and I know of you. You're the great Teledor Rex. The great hunter of these lands.
Well, it seems that my reputation as a sportsman precedes me. Bully!
Bully! Yes, indeed! Oh, yes. Quite. Now, tell me about your latest ventures, my friend.
Oh, you must hear of the latest adventures I had with my latest expedition. I will tell you, but first, I need a drink. Come with me, my good man, and he just, very hard on your back. Come with me, my good man. We will get sauce. My goodness, you have stories of your own to speak of dealing with a Rakshasa, saving this city, and it kind of just keeps going in that vein as he leads you towards the nearest pub.
What an absolute lad.
As he's being standoff is being dragged away to the nearest pub, which I'm guessing is the one at the Brothers Zone.
No, I doubt it.
No.
That one's kind of run down. You're not going to get a civic representative there. He's off the top of my head, he's going to take you to the Gilded Carafe.
Oh, then here we go. Standoff like, well, I like that place, but this place has much better prices. We get a lot more bang for our buck over here. Trust me, my friend.
Roll a persuasion.
Come to this nasty rundown bar.
Love it.
Straight persuasion, though, not a disadvantage, just straight persuasion.
Okay. That was gonna be a 17.
Ooh.
You just see he kind of messes with the walrus mustache for a bit, and he's like, "You've convinced me. Let's go, sir. Lead the way."
And then standoff is like, we're gonna be over at the good one. Don't go to the fancy one. Come to the good one. Drinks on me.
And basically, Torrin, Corallos, Nat, all of you who still remain, you still hear this man's ranting, and he really doesn't even take breaths in between his thoughts. Really, he's just going. You know that the city of Brine needs the fighting man and woman. We need these people to defend our, and it just keeps kind of going.
It's a much well-timed comic relief.
You can't see it, but I'm shaking tears of joy. That is just beautiful.
It's amazing.
Well,
Elephant, Teledor are off and doing
Yeah, well, yeah. If you guys haven't basically Teledor and Standoff have gone, and they're gone to the Gilded Carafe. V has gone back to the light. I'll say the last thing. I'll say Torrin and Corallos. Lady Varine, Shadeleaf approaches you two.
Good.
And just asks a few more questions. And the one she's gonna lead off with is once again, my personal thanks. I already spoke to a couple of members of your party. The service that you've done for Brine. You have my personal thanks.
Well, Corallos, how the fuck do I say you're welcome?
You're welcome.
Thanks, buddy. That's why you're always here for me. Give him a big pat on his shoulder.
Ow.
A very amused look on her face as she's waiting.
Thank you, ma'am. We greatly appreciate your thanks and courtesies.
That was tough for you. I appreciate all the work you put into that.
Well, ma'am, I can't. I can't fool you. I'm not the brains of the operation. I'm kind of just your average fighter. I hit hard and take a hell of an ass kicking. And pardon me, madam. Ugh. Everything is sore and it hurts a lot.
Well, an encounter with a Rakshasa certainly isn't something to, well, you're not going to breeze through it.
Definitely not. But I'd don't think he'll forget today, which makes me a little bit happier. So, madam, what can we do for you?
What did you know of Reagus before all of this transpired?
Well, to be perfectly honest, at least in my opinion, or in my own, I didn't know much. I knew that a strange Tiger Lake creature was chasing my friends. And once they said they were going after it, I wholeheartedly jumped in.
Chasing your friends. One of your group here was entangled with a Rakshasa. You collect dangerous enemies.
Yeah, I've learned that the hard way. But as far as Regus's true nature, I didn't realize until it was you could almost say too late that a large tiger fiend was the Chamberlain of Brine, a city that I would...
Rakshasas thrive on manipulating people. They also like to position themselves in places of power. They don't prefer direct contact or direct conflict. They prefer to work through intermediaries and underlings. And it seems that our dear Sephirus Holder had his own demons.
That is an understatement, madam. That is an understatement.
I'm trying to piece this together, and it doesn't make sense. Was Sephirus enthralled to the Rakshasa?
I believe so.
What of the strange altar in that chamber of his? She makes reference to the eye that you saw Tadara shackled to, and later Sephirus shackled to. What do you know of that?
Torrin, very physically disturbed, tries to muster everything out. Well, madam, to be quite blunt with you, we believe it has to do with a, what's the right word here, Corallos? Cult?
Cult would be the word I would use, yes, Torrin.
A cult known as the Brotherhood of the Night Eye. I've had multiple dealings with them in the past, and it would appear that Sephirus would be one of their members.
Was
One of their members.
You've encountered this cult before?
Yes. I've actually been looking for them.
Forgive my candor. How do you lot get mixed with a dark cult and now uncover a fiend in the midst of Brine's council? What's your interest in all this? Not that I don't appreciate the help. You've certainly done a service.
Of course.
I'm simply asking for the motive.
Honestly, we've just been in the right place at the right time.
Well, Corallos, it's not entirely the story, but mostly dumb luck. It's how we keep getting wrapped up into these things. Mostly dumb luck. I specifically came to Brian looking for them because one of their members attacked my village many, many years ago. And I've been trying to find that member to fix the damage he did.
You're saying that even within the Empire, you've dealt with this cult before?
Yes.
The fingers reach far.
Very.
And now, we have two sides of the map blaming the other. I trust you are aware of the tensions between Thrandia and the Draconic Empire.
Sadly, I'm very aware of my people's hostilities.
Stories very similar to what you just described of border towns, villages attacked. The Dragonborn blame the humans are blaming the Dragonborn.
See, that's where I have to stop you, madam. See, the bastard that did this to my village was a Dragonborn. And one day I will find him.
I really wish someone would tell the Emperor that. And more importantly, I hope no one ever tells the king that. I don't know what you know of politics, but our current regent, he is not exactly reasonable. I think he's looking for a reason to blame Dragonborn.
Wonderful. But
I have very little knowledge as far as what happens within the Empire, though. Don't travel as much as I used to.
I probably travel too much, madam.
Thank you for speaking with me.
Of course.
You need anything? Do not hesitate to ask. You are, after all, and she kind of looks, heroes of Brian.
Well, don't let our large friend hear that. It'll go straight to his head.
What?
Shut up, Tarook.
Somebody. Are we heroes now?
Oh, goddamn.
We're heroes now. Do I get my statue?
What have you done?
I want a statue.
What have we done?
I want it life size. I want it accurate. Well, not too accurate. If you embellish on my
Tarook, shut the fuck up!
No, we're talking about statues, Torrin.
Wow, how long have you all been friends? Because holy shit. It's like he's weird.
There's a chuckle from Vare, and she goes, I see my work here is done. If you should need anything, do not hesitate to ask. And now, city politics await. Not even a feigned smile at that, a very annoyed.
Well, madam, if you ever need a ruckus, don't worry, we won't be far.
Bring it.
As a parting comment, she goes, and one day you'll explain to me why you have an undead traveling with you.
That's a longer story, and we don't have the drinks for it, madam.
So who do I talk to about a statue?
God damn, I just grab him by the ear, just start dragging him.
Why is it so accurate? Oh god.
Tim's been working on that one. I know he has.
All right. Standoff is drinking with Teldor. Nat,
Where you, the team over here.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna go back to the light, clean up, and probably go back to to Dorb, Shriek, and Champ.
Okay, Dorb, Shriek, and Champ are at the Typhon's Bane at the Hunters Guild.
Probably join them later.
Okay. Torrin, Corallos, where are you guys going? Basically, I'm kind of, I guess I'm commandeering Beldan and Tarook for the night.
I was gonna say, does Beldan want to go back to the light with us, or?
It kind of seems like everybody's going separate directions, so I was trying to get the feeling of where the party was going, who's doing what.
Corallos.
Sorry. Where do you want to go, Torrin? We should really recover from the fight.
That's an understatement. But I feel like I could use a stiff drink.
Well, you would have overheard with Teledor. You know for a fact you overheard Standoff and Teledor say they're going to the Gilded Carafe. They were very loud with their. Well, Teledor was very loud with his plans for the evening.
Follow them or to the light?
Tarook kind of goes, I think I'm gonna go to the carafe. That guy, he knows how to party. I'm following him.
Oh my god, so accurate.
And Standoff also said that he's paying for drinks, so
there you go. Yeah.
Can't let Tarook go off on his own. So
No,
Beldan's
can't.
not gonna miss a chance to drink. I'm gonna.
You don't even need to do the voice. Belden's already headed towards the tavern
Belden's
now.
just kind of looks over his brand new shiny hammer. He's like, "Yep, I need a drink."
I feel like the light's kind of become home base, so I feel like it'll be a rallying point at some point.
I get the feeling too. So
She's going straight home. She's not. Yeah.
well, it's been a rough day. So
I'm not trying to be rude, but B would go straight home.
right. Well,
Well, I doubt Nat wants to talk to me right now, so fuck it. Let's go get a drink.
all right. So basically, most of the party minus Nat and V go to the Gilded Carafe. If there's anything you guys want to RP out there, otherwise, I'm just gonna explain what happens. You go drinking with Teledor. It's a very rowdy and ruckus night. Teledor challenges Tarook to an arm wrestling contest. He loses.
Wait, which?
Teledor lost.
Oh!
I'm not even.
Tarook won.
Oh my gosh! Tarook actually won something for a change.
I know, it's a shame Tim couldn't be here for that. I was definitely gonna. I knew that interaction would be fun, but that's okay. Teledor's not going anywhere.
I like that.
But yeah, no. Exchanging stories. He tells you guys of a hunting trip that he had where an owlbear beset his party, and they found a way to kill it, and he talks about coming across some a half of some orc packs. Small adventures, nothing to the scale that you guys have had, but certainly an adventurous fellow. Certainly, a life of the party type, and usually the loudest person in the room. And he does hold his own when it comes to drinking with you guys.
It all goes in the mustache.
Yeah.
And Beldan run for his money, is he?
Yes. I'm not gonna roll it off because he's not here, but drinks are had, and Teledor holds his own. So,
now here's Standoff usually doesn't drink. In his time with Beldan,
All right, I will be right back.
What happens? Does Standoff actually consume alcohol?
hang on.
Okay.
Hang on. I think that's the first time it did it today. Sorry, I cut out there.
That's fine. Now, Standoff usually doesn't drink.
Mm-hmm.
So, since he went off with Teledor by themselves at the beginning, is there any way that Standoff was able to stay away from drinks, or has he actually consumed alcohol?
You don't have to if you don't want to. I wasn't forcing it on anybody. I think that was just
That's-
you got like shanghaied basically. You know.
Well, what I'm saying is that, Teledor is like, oh, we're gonna go, get smashed tonight, and before everyone else, arrived, he's probably gonna do shots or beer or something with him.
Would Standoff partake? That's all you got to say.
Standoff would try and do the whole cheers and over the shoulder.
Okay.
So, but should I roll like a stealth check for for that, or
I'll say just for the night, do sleight of hand.
sleight of hand?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Oh, okay. If it's not even worth mentioning, if it's that bad.
It's I rolled a 6. I have a so Standoff wasn't as shifty when it comes to stealing rags as a throwing.
He notices, but Teledor seems to be the type that he's very energetic in his storytelling and just having fun, that he doesn't care whatever floats your boat. He doesn't make mention of it, do you?
Standoff will, after a couple tossing back, Standoff will actually get a drink that he can manage, and might have a few too many for his own.
For him, okay, that's fair.
700 and some odd years old at this point, smelling alcohol kind of makes him a little loopy.
Yeah, I got you. All right, that's Standoff. What do the rest of you guys do? As it's just an evening of drinking and a little bit of earned revelry.
Corallos, did you have anything?
Yeah, just anything. I was just giving you guys an option. Anything that you wanted to RP out. If not, we'll just keep moving.
There's one thing I will do at the very end.
Okay.
I did, but I wanted to make sure Corallos had his chance first.
How many people are in the bar, around us?
It's a packed house. About
Oh God.
good 50 people.
I'm all right, Torrin, for right now.
Good business for a dive bar.
The dive bar. The nice bar.
Yeah, no, this is the nice bar. Oh wait, no, you did say you went to the dive. I apologize.
I'm gonna die.
Oh.
We brought the party with us.
Well, you brought. Yeah. I'll say for this, there's not nearly as many. Plus you guys, maybe 10 or 15 people.
Oh, well, that changes things.
Sorry,
Oh,
I
God.
forgot you did. I immediately thought you went to the nice one. No, you went back to the Albright. I got you.
Oh, it's the Albright.
That's what Standoff said. That was the original plan. I
that's
forgot.
perfect. If I can, excuse myself from the group and go to where that secret tunnel barrel room,
Yeah.
and I want to talk to Shroud.
Okay.
I will ask, I don't know the time length now between when the Raksasha first attacked Nat and Isla and V in the streets.
Mm-hmm. It's been several days.
Several days, perfect. So a few days ago, you knew Nat was in danger. How did you know?
The more time I spend around you, the easier it is for me to help you. The stronger you become, the stronger we can become. I'm not saying it's something I can do all the time. Consider it a danger sense at times.
So you can't sense where Isla is right now?
No, she's beyond my vision.
Okay. I'll head back to the group.
Hard thinking, though.
All right.
So,
Torrin, I think you said you had some stuff.
yeah, Torrin is going to fill the biggest mug he can with something nice and strong, and he's going to start walking back towards the Hunters Guild.
Okay. Takes you a little while, you know, the walking distance, but you make your way back to the Hunters Guild. As you walk in, you do notice it looks fairly busy as far as the Hunters Guild's concerned. There's a couple hunters looking up at the the quest board, and a couple of them drinking. Particularly, 3 seats at the bar are filled with a Goliath and a goblin and a gnome. From the looks of things, you just roll me perception, Torrin.
That is a 16.
Not bad. Dorb looks to be a little more shaken, visibly shaken than what he was earlier. You surmise that they've done a little more explaining to him as to what happened, and he looks a little upset. Looks like he's drowning in his beer.
Right. I can sympathize.
Shriek and Champ. Champ seems to be doing okay. Shriek's a little tougher to read.
I just walk up holding my half-filled mug. Gentlemen, has any of you 3 seen Nat?
Shriek is the first one. He goes, no, she hasn't been here. Not yet, anyway. You looking for her?
Yeah, I realized I should probably talk to her after everything that happened.
Yeah.
However,
Champ kind of cuts over Shriek. We I think we've kind of made up our minds. We're leaving.
where will you 3 go?
Away from here. I don't think we want to be around anymore.
Well,
I think the obvious thing is that our angel isn't here. She's someplace else. So we need to go someplace else.
I can respect that. Well, gentlemen, well, it hasn't always been a pleasure, Shriek, Dorb. It's always been an honor. And, I hope you guys find what you're looking for. Because Lord knows I'm not gonna stop looking for her either. And hopefully one day down the road, the 5 of us will all get a drink together.
They just kind of all nod. They're very somber. And,
I'm not as religious as Beldan, but, may Bahamut protect you 3.
the only one that speaks is Shriek, and he just says, same deal. They all were kind of just very, for as ruckus as they usually are, and
right.
as lively as
Somber.
there's a very somber tone to them, and it's very uncharacteristic of all 3 of them. Aside from them, you do notice, not even discreetly, just off to the side at another table, you do notice that Hisma and Rel Kane are both at their own table talking.
I politely walk up. May I, take a seat?
Sure. And you see as Rel kind of kicks a chair out for you.
Rail, it's
Isma kind of, yeah, more the merrier.
Wonderful. Rail is nice.
Snidely, but
right. As pleasant as Hisma can be.
yeah, that's about as happy as Isma gets.
Rail, it's nice to see you. I know it's been quite a long time.
Quite a long time.
Hisma, always a pleasure.
Yeah, the blue dragonborn, just kind of taking you in as shrewdly as Hisma is. Rel is a little bit more friendly, or a little more upbeat of the two. So I heard the news.
Oh?
Yeah, Ryan's news travels fast. I'm sorry.
Apparently. Thank you.
I'm also on the council, technically. So it's kind of my business to know.
That would help. That would help. I don't honestly, I don't have a whole lot to say. It's been a rough couple days.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Um,
You see, as the half-orc council member, he just takes a huge gulp from his ale. A Rakshasa?
a Rakshasa.
Can you, like, start something smaller? Like, couldn't you, like, you know...
I did.
What's that fiend thing? It looks like a mosquito. I don't know the name, Rel. Couldn't you something smaller? You know, like, what about an imp? Like, couldn't you have started there and worked your way up? You started with a Rakshasa?
Well, technically, I started with a chain devil, and then worked my way up to a Rakshasa.
A what?
A chain devil. This is ugly bastard wrapped in chain. Looked like a mummy, but if you replaced...
He has absolutely no clue what you're talking about.
An ugly creature wrapped in chains.
Where did you come across a chain devil?
Do you really want to know? The luxurious light.
You see as both of their eyes get huge, like the size of like teacups. And even Hisma, who was kind of like giving you an air of please go away, now kind of leans forward and goes, funny that never got out.
Well, luckily it didn't go far. It walked in, and the madam took care of it quite quickly.
No, Dullstown. I mean, news like that.
Oh. I figured if anyone, she would have told you, Rail.
Why?
No reason.
I'm confused.
Don't worry about it, buddy.
So wait a second. You see, he's just kind of as flustered as a half-orc can be. A chain devil in the light? How did it get there?
Kind of in the light. Like, it was like in the front door. I think it just showed up, started picking a fight.
In a brothel.
That's what I heard.
I mean, to be honest.
Corallos, you're there? You went to the Hunters Guild?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I was like, I didn't know you were there, buddy.
I'm just agreeing, okay?
I got you, George.
I mean, To be honest, it's not the first time I've gotten to a brawl at the light. Probably it won't be the last.
You see, even as Hisma kind of, she's just kind of contemplating. She goes, "That's news to me." Let's see, Mina kind of, well, she keeps a lid on things well.
Apparently.
I didn't know. Thank you for that. You just see as a very unsettling smile comes across her face.
Never seen his
You
smile.
you
This
have
is
no
disturbing.
idea, and you just see like Hisma's demeanor just changed immediately, and she's like, "You have no idea how happy you just made me," and she just downs her ale, clunk. She goes, "Ah." And she just walks off.
Well, that was mildly disturbing. Never seen her laugh. Ever.
Anytime Hisma laughs, you should be worried.
Wonderful. I guess I shouldn't go ask her if I could get some additional training when I'm done being beaten half to death.
I was like, you're not in a good spot.
I was gonna say, how much HP do you have,
Not
buddy?
much.
You have yet to rest or heal or anything, so you still smell of burnt scales.
Yep. I'll come back for that later.
All right. We're gonna
But-
leave. We're gonna. Oh, okay. Well, you got anything else?
I'm just going to tip my almost empty cup to Rail and venture out into the city, still looking for Nat.
Oh, I was gonna leave you there for a moment, unless you're heading out. Like, there's a lot of things happening at the same time, Cam. So, like,
I'm
like,
just
it's been a couple
walking out.
hours since you went to the bar and got drunk with Teledor for a bit, and then you guys left and went to, like, this is happening across an evening. So
Right.
I'm gonna leave you at the Hunters Guild as of the moment.
That's fine.
Nat, where did you go?
I went back to the light.
You went back to the light. Okay. As you go back, it seems to be, it's business as usual. It's not, it certainly isn't dead. You do come across Mina. I don't know where V is, but
It depends on how you want to do this. Like, whichever. If we got there at the same time, I mean,
I would say maybe you got there a little earlier, but Nat not far behind you. So that's why I was like, if you're, resting, freshening up, whatever you're doing.
yeah, we can get to me whenever. I probably wouldn't run into her though.
Okay. So you don't see V. You do. Mina is her regal self. Scarlett O'Hara at the top of the stairs, wearing
That's her office.
a beautiful, almost like a peach colored, kind of like a off peach colored dress. Looks beautiful as ever.
As I pull my half-dead carcass up, just exhausted carcass up the stairs, I just look at Mina and smile. You never fail to impress.
I work hard at it, darling. Appearances are everything in my line of work.
As you can tell, they're not much in mine, I said, looking at myself and just half smile, half-hearted chuckle.
Darling, I love you, but go take a bath.
That's the plan, madam. That is the plan. Thank you
I
also
feel like
for...
talking find me later, but you're in no state. Try to get some rest, darling.
Yes, madam. I turn around. I just open the first door I can. I don't even care if it's my room or not.
It's yours now, huh?
Yep, pretty much. Because my give a damn is broken.
As you bust in, there are two current tenants.
This is a brothel, remember?
I'm aware.
And there's the immediate coverage of one of the girls and her patron, her companion for the evening.
I just roll my eyes. Sorry. Make sure you scale to your pleasure. Turn around, shut the door, and move on to the next.
A half orc and a human girl, and she. What do you think that meant?
Oh, God.
All right, you go and you find an empty room, and pretty much claim it.
Yep, because like I said, the give a damn is broken.
Yeah, no, I got you. That's amazing. I just rolled that just for funsies.
That was great.
Okay.
I love it. That was
all right.
perfect.
I take it now. Unless you got something that you want to RP out or somebody that you're wanting to speak to, you know, anything that you got planned or anything that you want to do.
Actually, really quickly, like after I freshen up, could I go back and talk with the madam for just a few brief minutes?
Sure. Yeah, that's no problem. She's where you find her is in that kind of like a dining area. She's just kind of tea, just kind of lounging a little bit, and she kind of, oh darling, good to see you. Please join me.
I just plan on making this very brief, Mina. How does someone get into this line of work?
And she processes the question, and then she makes like a flourish with her hand, and she goes, "You mean all of this?"
That and what you do, how you run this place. I imagine now with everything kind of being up in arms, I don't suppose you would probably want some help. Or maybe just someone that you can trust a little bit.
Trust is an interesting thing, darling. I think in my life I have trusted maybe 3 people. One of them's dead. Or at least I think they are. There's actually a contemplation there. At least I think they are. At the very least, they were cursed. Which is just as good as dead. The other was the one who, well, you could say, took me under her wing and showed me how to do this and how to run this. There's one other. Be careful who you trust, darling. The closer someone can get to you, the easier it is for them to hurt you. Now, my original question was, you asked about how someone gets into this line of work. I was not always a businesswoman. I had my own adventuring days, long ago. I got my fill of violence, so I traded it for a life of vice. I felt it was well earned.
Worse. What was there any? You don't have to tell me. You can just answer yes or no. Was it something major that pushed you from being an adventurer into becoming a businesswoman?
Major?
Like, was it enough to revolutionize or just kind of really spin your, like, everything that you've ever known and set you on a different path?
Yeah, you could say that.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Roll Nat, roll me a persuasion.
Okay. Clean 20.
Nice. Okay.
20.
And I have like no charisma like whatsoever.
It was just
That would be a
natural
nat
20.
That's
It's a natural
20.
20.
Just a nat 20. Okay.
Just
Yeah,
that, yeah.
Not a clean 20. Yeah, it's a natty nat.
Yeah.
Those happen more often than you think.
No, yeah, no. I'm all right. As you kind of like, I didn't mean to pry, and you get up and you take 2 or 3 steps, you notice a tone change. And she goes, I made the mistake of falling in love once, darling.
I turn around and look back at the madam, just not prying, but just patiently waiting for her to continue if there was anything more for her to say.
Yeah, no, and you see that this is a very uncomfortable subject for a woman who is so put together, so careful and discreet, and at times secretive.
Mm-hmm.
This is a level of bearing of a soul that you have never seen her do. You also notice that there's absolutely nobody around right now, except the 2 of you in this lounging area. She continues. Yes, it was long ago. He was very charming. I loved him very dearly, darling. But he made a choice. And so did I. And neither one of us chose the other. Roll me perception.
Okay. That is a 14.
Okay. You don't really notice too much beyond that. You get that this is a little uncomfortable for her to speak of, but other than that, nothing. She does continue. I chose my life and he chose his. And I never saw him again.
Do you ever wonder for a moment at all, just maybe what could have been, had things been chosen differently?
I do not know what you know of my race, darling, but we do live a long time. At least we can.
Okay.
I have had many years to think about it.
And yet you can somehow you can keep putting it past, like just putting it behind you and keep going forward. I think that makes...
She cuts you off. I never said that. I simply found other things. I never really loved again, darling. Now, certainly I enjoy company. I do not like the feeling of loneliness, but desiring someone's presence, desiring someone's to just be there. That's one thing. Desiring their love is something completely different. I never asked or desired for that from anyone ever again. And I don't think I will.
You're a braver woman than I.
Perhaps more the fool am I. I loved once. That was enough.
I just... I nod my head. Thank you, Mina, for everything.
I am sorry for what you had to go through, darling, and I fear that you're not done.
The hunt's never over. But I think by the time it is, I'm gonna be at the end of my adventuring days.
Well.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. She ends with, well, when that day comes, you always have a place here.
Thank you. With that, I stand up, I give a little curtsy to Mina, and I turn to leave, make my way out to the guild. To go find Door, Shriek, and Champ, see if they're hopefully still there.
Okay. Around that time, as far as like the timetable, I'm gonna come back to you, and you are making your way to the Hunters Guild. V.
So when I get back, I'm gonna go first to the bath and try to do like the normal routine, but I'm just half-hearted about it, and I don't really like. I get in there somewhere around the pool a little bit, try to do the whole thing, and I stop when I get out, put on a black silk bathrobe, and kind of go back up to my room. And I'm sitting there, looking around, looking at things, trying to do something. And then I'm gonna frown at an old box in my room and kind of roll my eyes, and I'm gonna take out a old but very pretty lyre, like an old harp, a little hand harp basically. And I'm gonna take it out of the box and just kind of stare at it, a little bit annoyed. And I'm just gonna kind of, still probably soaking wet. I didn't wash, so I've got like raccoon eyes and, smudged up. And I'm just gonna kind of drag my harp to one of the balconies and at the light, just one of the empty balconies somewhere. And I'm gonna sit there on the balcony and just kind of just play it, just to myself, nobody around, just sit there playing my harp.
Roll me a performance check.
That's a nat 20 plus 5.
Woo-hoo.
5.
Nice.
It's that. It's nothing uplifting. It's like a dirge, like a sad harp song. Like it should sound nice. Like it's something that maybe sounds like it should be light, but it's very quiet and slow. And I'm just I'm not even looking at the harp. I'm just staring at this. I don't know if it's dark yet. I've been staring at the sky and playing, sitting up on the balcony edge, just staring, grudgingly playing.
Yep. As you're playing, it's absolutely beautiful. And it is an older song that you had heard of, and the song is basically a kind of like a like you said, kind of like a more of a sorrowful lament story to it. And roll me, I'm gonna say, V, roll me a perception check.
16.
16. It's not something that you catch on immediately. But it's faint, and you hear a voice singing the lyrics to the song that you're playing. Someone well below the balcony, like a couple floors down. And you're playing accompanied with their singing, and it's very gut-wrenching and very emotional.
The singer?
Well, you're playing, and whoever the singer is, they knew the words, which is interesting to you because you know that it's in an it's not in common. It's actually an elven dirge, and you know for a fact that that's not exactly something that your average bard would know, but somebody below in the darkness started singing the words to the song and helped you finish it.
If I look down, can I see who it is?
Investigation.
That's a flat 14.
Tough to see in the darkness. You do see, with a 14, I'll give it to you. You see there is someone sitting in like a kind of like a courtyard area, sitting on like a bench, and it's an armored figure.
Is there a lot of people? I mean, traffic obviously inside is busy, but is it quieter outside?
We're getting to the evening hours. There's not as many people in the courtyard.
How many floors down is it?
You see, from where you're at, I'll say 2.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of stand up and just have this live, just like over it, but in like a grudging kind of attitude. I'm gonna try to do an acrobatics check to get down to the floor he's on.
Oh, you're jumping down?
I'm gonna try to like do my thing.
Okay, monk it up. All right.
I'm gonna kind of just freaking.
Sure. Yeah.
Kind of see him raising. Like I hear him singing, and I just sort of have this like, what the hell kind of attitude.
Right. Yeah. Roll acrobatics.
I forgot my modifier to that, but it's gonna be high. 22.
Yeah. Basically you land on like a you kind of do like a 3-point land on this. It's like a 1, 2, and you're just kind of you're like ninja walking down. Basically you're like and you just land and kind of the arm.
No, I had a few drinks by now, so I'm a little like wobbly, but more of a grateful, like, whoa.
That's impressive having a couple drinks.
Like I'm not drunk or anything, but like I'm just kind of have that kind of over it kind of attitude.
Right. No, and once again, the armored figure is not facing towards you or was not facing towards your balcony either. It was faced out. So you're just coming up behind them. They don't seem to have noticed you.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna sit next to him.
Okay. It's Metagas.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just gonna kind of just. Oh yeah, I forgot I had the harp with me the whole time.
Okay.
I had the harp with me, just kind of like drag. I'm kind of like not being rough with it, but I'm just kind of letting it knock against the ground when I sit down with it. It's kind of like it does that thing when like a guitar gets bumped and it does the blang.
That is what catches his attention, and he's like jerks over, and he's like, "Sorry." Evening. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you.
You didn't. You sing.
Yeah, I recognize the song. I wish I knew from where.
It's an old song. I guess that's to be expected, though.
Yeah.
You like to sing?
I don't know. I think that's the first time I've tried, and who knows how long. Apparently, I can.
Apparently.
You play it beautifully. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And he stops.
I hate the harp. I hate it a lot.
Take it that was something you were forced to learn.
Yes. And no. And back to yes again. I don't know, sometimes it's nice to do things I hate to remind myself why I'm here, I guess. And yeah, still hate it. I guess that's comforting.
Wish I knew why I was here.
Yeah, I'm feeling that way too right now. I guess I didn't really realize that I had something to fight for now. And it's becoming increasingly obvious that I'm going to have to fight for what I have.
Not that it's any of my business. What did you fight for before?
Nothing. I didn't think I had anything until found Philomena years ago, and I've spent a lot of time becoming a very big fish in a very little pond. And it seems like that pond is more complicated than I thought it was. And now I find myself here, not really sure what to do. Or who to do it with.
I can't help you there.
It's fine. I actually prefer you can't help me, to be honest. It alleviates a little bit of it's not out of the ordinary. So that makes it comforting, I guess. I like to help myself.
I guess I just try to help until I figure out what's important.
Are you going to keep helping them? Doesn't seem like a very profitable idea, to be completely honest. But I find myself wanting to, and I don't quite know how to handle that.
do until we figure it out.
That's exactly why. That's exactly what I'm trying to figure out. And again, the waters are very uncharted for me right now. I'm sorry. I wish I could offer you some kind of comfort or advice or insight, but unfortunately I'm fresh out right now. I'm not working tonight, so apologies.
He kind of chuckles. He goes, well, I wish I was more help.
What, back there? With the demon?
For starters. I try to. Feels like I'm next to useless sometimes.
Well. You care. I think that speaks volumes. No offense, but you're not exactly a force to be reckoned with, and just going in it with them, I think, shows a great deal. I suppose that kind of companionship is uplifting for some.
For some.
Can I insight the skeleton man as best I can?
Yeah, insight the skeleton.
You know, that's easy to do. Ooh, okay. Oh, I forgot I have a really good modifier to that. 21.
21, not bad. I'll say, Metagas appears to be wrestling with something that you, depending on where you're coming from, it may or may not be very similar, but he is, you caught him in a moment of unguarded. He's not Metagas. Whoever he is, you see him. And you're also getting, there's a little bit of despair there, of feeling very, very unhelpful, useless, inadequate, whatever you want to say.
Is he wearing a helmet, or is he, I don't know?
No, it's him. You see the skeleton head. And that's pretty good to read because, he doesn't really show emotions or facial features too much.
What's his voice?
Yeah, just the voice.
I think it's important to focus on what you can give them. And if you're giving it your all, then I think that you should take comfort in the fact that something not alive can give so much to people, no matter how useless you feel.
He just kind of nods.
Yeah. Maybe. I told you before what I thought about knowing who you were before you were this. Again, I don't think it matters. Be what you want, and then you can take pride in that. And trust me, the freedom that most people don't get. Getting to be who they choose. And letting that define you rather than what you should be.
I feel like for the time being, it's just better to be Metagas than no one.
Believe me, this group values a lot of truth, but the truth is sickly and sweet and hard to swallow. Every time you use it, people just get hurt. Lies are much softer, whether people want them or not.
And he stays quiet.
evening, I guess. And I'm gonna go, but I'm not sure.
I'm just gonna kind of go.
As you stand up, he goes into metagas mode and bows.
Not with me. Please.
He nods and he sits back down.
Good. Sweet man. And I'm gonna go find Mina.
All right. Take a time out there. I could use a break.
Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Whew.
Or we paused.
We are now.
Excuse me.
Oh, there we go. And we're back.
Here you go.
I'm a wizard.
I'm multiple people.
Oh.
The Oscar goes to.
No, sorry. The Academy Award goes to me because I'm terrible and I want to give it away.
So let's be honest, this show's not political enough to be the Oscars or the Golden Globes at best.
I was gonna say Emmys.
Tim still wins, but you know.
No, I don't. Anyway, so are we back?
Yes, we are live.
All right.
All yours,
So,
sir.
We left off with a moment with Lady V and Midagast, and Lady V stepped away. Midagast stayed in the courtyard of the light to contemplate. Going to Nat. I believe you had a plan. Were you heading to the Hunters Guild?
Yes.
All right, so you were making your way to Typhon's Bane, the Hunters Guild of Brine, making your trek across town, and upon arriving, you do note Torrin and Corallos, I believe, are still there, and they are drinking and speaking with Rail Kane, the half-orc council member who represents the Hunters Guild on the council, and his Macrant, the Blue Dragonborn, who is currently the guild master for the Typhon's Bane Guild Hall.
Okay. I approach their table. I look around. I nod. Gentlemen?
See, Rail kind of smiles as you approach. He goes, "Please, please," and he kind of the other side of the table. He kicks out another chair that kind of scrapes across the ground and kind of, a place for you to sit and add to the group.
Thank you, but keep that warm for me. I might have to be gone for a brief moment. Torrin, have you seen Dorb, Champ?
They're over at the bar.
And they still are. You see as the three of them are very somberly kind of nursing ales. They're very quiet. Shriek is actually sitting on top of the bar, but nobody really cares. And Dorb is kind of sulking in his drink, and Champ isn't really saying or doing much.
How much has Dorb had to drink?
Yes.
Roll perception.
I feel like this is like Doc Brown and Back to the Future 3.
22.
There's not like a pile of empty glasses near him. Just from looking at him though, look like he's had a few. But he doesn't look drunk. He just looks sad.
Right. I'm just trying to help the poor guy preserve as many brain cells as he can.
No.
There's something I must do. Excuse me. I walk over to the bar.
Shriek is the first one, and he kind of, hey.
Hey. Is this seat taken?
Nope. He kind of motions at the stool.
All right. Thank you. I sit down and I look at the three of them. I'm really
Champ
sorry.
kind of scooted a little closer so he could talk to you. Dorb is kind of just face down in his ale. He's not like passed out. He's just like kind of just looking.
Very sad.
He's not, yeah.
How is he handling the news? Obviously, not very well.
About what you would expect.
I'm guessing you guys explained it to him a little bit better.
And Champ kind of comes across. Yeah, we did.
So
we told your friends we don't plan on sticking around here much longer.
why?
I think we're telling ourselves that we're going to go look for. Maybe the truth is more, we'd just rather be anywhere else but here. It's not the same without her.
I know it's not the same without her. And I just, when she does come back and she finds that you guys are gone and I don't have an answer for her to where you have gone, I think that's going to break her heart. She really cared. Knowing her, she cared about you guys. And I know that if anything would have happened to one of you, she wouldn't run away. Hell, knowing her the way that I do, she probably would have turned around and just started running towards you guys the minute she knew something was wrong. That's just what I know.
For the first time, Dorb just kind of glances over, and he, very in his own way, just puts it, she's not here, then we're not here. And he goes back to just sulking in his out.
I just... Unbelievable. The minute she gets in trouble, you guys almost want to run off like a pack of dogs with your tails between your legs. Well, I shouldn't be one to question bravery, but like I said, just
roll persuasion with disadvantage.
Persuasion, disadvantage.
At a disadvantage.
Okay. Well, first roll was a 19.
Ouch. Yeah, it's not happening.
And then I'm sorry, just refresh me for disadvantage. I just take a second roll?
You roll twice and take the lower number.
Got it. Okay, so the second one's a 9.
Yeah.
I figure they're not budging.
No, especially when you figure that it's definitely, just from kind of reading the situation, Dorb doesn't want to stay, and they're not going to let him go off on his own. And with that, kind of abruptly, Champ kind of goes up and he goes, well, I don't think anybody around here has any more need of us. And if anybody's going to find her, it's not going to be here. And Dorb, for the first time, and it kind of startles you just at first, because Dorb is such a gentle human, Goliath. It's a very aggressive, like both hands against the bar, and you hear him just kind of stand up abruptly and kick the bar stool that he was on, and it just about 10-15 feet off to the side. And he just kind of just turns on heel and goes right out the door. And Shriek, there he goes. All right. And it Shriek, with narrow word or anything else, goes right after him. And Champ kind of looks at you and goes, if we come across anything, we'll try to send word. And he goes out the door. And that's the last thing he says to you.
Damn it. I sit there just dumbfounded for a moment. I grab a nail and I rejoin the table.
Rel, who kind of like was paying attention to the conversation, at the table, but more on you and what was happening over there. Kind of just nods at you when you rejoin, and he goes, "Let them be, lass. They need to handle it their way." And he just goes back to drinking.
Best I can do. Yeah, it still feels like a failure. And without just a word, I just
Yeah.
tilt it all back and go for another one.
Excuse me.
Right. And that's pretty much it for me.
All right, we got you guys at the Hunters Guild drinking. We also have the other half of the party at the Albright drinking with Teledor. Is there anything else any of you guys want to get through before the night's over?
Yes. Now, Standoff is having a few drinks with Teledor, and mostly, for the smaller drinks, he's kind of going, you know, bully, and throwing it over his shoulder.
Right.
For the larger drinks, of course, he will sip on. And for anyone who knows, Standoff does not drink. He is a half-elf. Half of his human side can tolerate something. His elf side has a higher tolerance, but it's not that good. So it's not doing well in his favor. Standoff realizes this early and calls over the brother who cannot speak.
Mm-hmm. Sam. Mm-hmm. Sam Albright.
Sam, come here.
And you see as he's behind the bar, you know, doing basic cleaning and everything, and he just kind of shuffles over to you.
Sam, please, meet my friend here. Hey, you were telling me about a grand hunt you just went on?
You see as Sam's eyes get wide. Yes, indeed. My goodness, we went on this was an epic, let me tell you the tale, but I won't do it with an empty glass. Please, fill the glass. And he goes, and Teledor downs his drink and goes into this whole tale, which you've already heard, I believe, at least twice for this evening, of the encounter.
Thrice over so far.
Yeah, with the owlbear. And he begins to say, and you just see as Sam's eyes get wide and then keep going, darting back to you, and Teledor kind of like, why are you doing this to me? Just like,
and
he's mute, so he can't say anything, but Sam just keeps kind of like looking back and forth between the two of you, like, why?
Standoff looks at him and just taps his ear and goes like this and points and walks away.
And that's what the last thing you see is Sam going.
That's her right, isn't he?
That's it. He just walks away. What Stanley's trying to do is he wants to find Corallos. Or Corallos, Tarook, anybody of the party that he knows.
Anybody in the party that what now?
That Standoff knows. So he ditched Mr. Rex.
Okay.
And he turns around and he's looking for any member of his party that he may know.
The ones who are still there, I think, are Tarook and Beldan. I think those are the two that are still with you.
Oh, yes. So he's going to walk over that way and try and find them.
Okay. And Tarook kind of stand off. My friend, have a seat.
Standoff takes a seat. And he looks over at Tarook and just goes, "You got a pie?"
I've always got a pie. What kind of pie do you want?
Anything you offer.
All right.
And he puts his hand out.
Okay. Tarook pulls out his horn of plenty pies, and
As he would.
he looks into the inside of the horn, and he goes, "Cherry," and out pops a cherry pie, and he hands that to you.
And right under the hat it goes. Boop.
Okay.
You live to see another day, my friend. Now. And he looks over at Corallos. Standoff looks at Corallos. And Standoff also has a mug in his hand that is maybe half full. It's maybe his second drink at best.
Mm-hmm.
He's completely smashed.
Okay.
And he looks at Corallos and he goes, "You're a wizard, right?"
Corallos isn't there. Corallos Corallos is at the Hunters Guild with Torrin.
That's right. Oh my God, it's Beldan, right?
Yeah, you got Beldan and Tarook there, and Teledor,
Oh.
but you've pawned Teledor off on Sam.
Okay.
So,
All right. So, change of plan. Beldan.
yeah, and you just see as you kind of like in mid gulp. Yeah, what did you need?
You're a wizard, right?
No, I'm a cleric.
Oh, cleric. Wow. I have a question for you.
Okay.
What's going on with our undead guy?
Midagast? He's our mascot. He just kind of
Yeah,
goes back
Scarecrow.
into a.
Yeah, the scarecrow guy. You know, he stands there and kind of goes, "Eh," and makes people afraid of him. He's a scarecrow.
Well, we kind of keep. Well, up until today, we've actually kind of kept the fact that he's undead kind of under wraps. You know, always wear the armor. You know, but apparently, that elven councilwoman knows. So apparently, we're letting it go now. I don't know. I don't get how. I don't get what's happening with that.
Standoff kind of rolls his eyes, and he comes back and he's just, if anyone thinks he's actually real, they're dumb. Because it is.
He starts to take a sip and then puts it back down. He goes, "You don't think Midagast is real?"
Standoff lifts his mug, taps on the ground, takes a sip, and goes, "I like the color orange. Did you ever know that?"
No, I didn't. And he goes back to drinking. I take it the conversation proceeds very, very much like this.
No, not so much.
Oh, okay.
Give it a few moments.
Excuse me.
And
Okay, what you got?
Standoff after I would say about 10 minutes of silence.
Mm-hmm.
Standoff just happens to mutter within earshot of Beldan,
Mm-hmm.
and just says, "I've seen that mark before, the one on his armor,
Oh, you have.
many moons ago."
Is
You
the armor
take a drink.
or Midagast the one that's not real? Now I'm confused.
No. Who knows? I don't. What I do know is that that mark was around for a long time. I've seen it through my childhood. I've seen it through my adulthood. But I don't know much. During the time that I was around maybe a century old, my first century, I remember the mark very well. I heard rumors of bad things, but I was too preoccupied. I don't know what happened. I lived in the aftermath of all things. All I know is that his family was around after the Great Calamity, which is something that a lot of people don't even remember now. Ancient history, they call it. To me,
you just now noticed that Tarook has been eavesdropping this whole time, and he kind of cuts in with, "Wait, so you're saying that the armor was from that time, or that Midigas was from that time?"
yeah, the armor.
Okay.
From the armor itself, there's a little insignia. I don't know who the person is. A face is a face. A man with no face is a man with no face. You have no memory of that. You just as me. I could live to 1,200 years, 1,300 years, 5,000 years. If I have no face, I will not know who I am. I do not wish that. I do not wish that upon my worst enemy. Because a life without knowing yourself is not a life worth living. Now, our friend, he bears something. I don't know if it's him, but I recognize. But if you want to learn more, you have to delve deep. Deeper than I know.
The Tarook just kind of grunts at it and kind of leaves it be. Beldan kind of nods, taking it in.
Now, aside of our friend Metagast, who is quite the friendly scarecrow, I had to say, this past encounter is quite the conundrum.
Beldan kind of hangs his head a little bit and goes, "Yeah, I was trying not to think about it, but we're going to have to decide what to do eventually."
Well, these are tough times, and tough times come with tough decisions. We have to talk about this for a moment. Now, Tarook, you are quite the adventurer. You are quite the big man. You've fought this thing firsthand. You've went toe-to-toe with it. I commend you. Cheers.
He kind of puffs his chest out at that and clinks the mugs. "The next time I see it, I'm going to take its head off."
Stand up nods. Beldan, you have helped us all every step of the way. And on top of that, you still owe me for giving you pants when you didn't have any.
I do appreciate having pants.
Yeah. Coming from a dwarf stature, you're welcome.
Well,
that was also like a little rib on dwarves and elves not liking each other.
Yeah, I got that. Beldan kind of shaking it off, and, well, I think it's getting late.
It is.
And, I think we all need to decide about what our next move is. You kind of hear even Tarook kind of nods and just interjects real quick. He goes, I don't even know where to start.
Standoff responds back. I think I have an idea. Let's just get some sleep tonight, and we'll discuss it in the morning.
All right. Unless somebody else has anything, we are going to fast forward to the next morning. And as morning hits, wherever each one of you found your rest,
I'm still on the balcony.
if he's still on the balcony, Midagast he doesn't sleep, so he was pretty much just sitting in the courtyard at the light.
Because
I know. Nat, Torrin, Corallos, you guys were at the Hunters Guild.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just tell you, Tarook and Beldan, they went back to the light.
Okay.
Standoff would have followed.
All right, so Standoff goes with them. Teledor closes. He hangs around the Albright for a little bit, then goes back to his home. But now we are at the morning after the next morning, and I'm gonna assume that the party pretty much the luxurious light has pretty much become home base for everybody. At least it seems like. So yeah, I know. Yeah, the extravagant bordello has become home base. So hey.
Hey, we tried to make the Albright a thing, but
yeah, it's
some bad business deals.
Bad business.
Yeah.
I know Christian just shuddered somewhere.
I'm
gonna fix that. But no, the next morning comes and you guys kind of congregate in that main dining area of the light, and you're surprised to see that Beldan is already there. And he's kind of he hasn't even done his morning ale. He's kind of scarfed through his breakfast, and you notice that all of his belongings are packed up, sitting next to him at the table.
What's all this?
He kind of straightens himself up a little bit, and he says that I had a vision. Very similar to the one Baranar gave me before I met you guys. She told me that I needed to leave. Said that before I return home, there's a few things that I need to do. And this wasn't a suggestion. This was definitely... It had the same feel as the one she when she told me to look after you guys. It's not something that I can ignore.
No, of course. It's gonna be hard without you. You've become family.
He kind of nods. He goes, I appreciate that. I do. I'm...
But
This is just something I have to do. And I don't think it's something that you guys can't come with me. I don't think it's not going to help. This is... I don't know what you know of vision quests, but this is something I need to do. But I'm going to come back. I have to return home. And I think that my home, something's going on, and I need to do this before we head back to Anion, or at least before I head back to Anion. And I hope that you guys would come with me, but until then, I think I'm gonna have to part ways.
Well, when the time is right, and you need a bunch of hobos at your side, you can always find us. Like I said, you're one of us.
I'll send a message. I'll just write it down because it can't be more than 25 words. And that's so difficult.
Yes, I can understand, and mapping is difficult.
And for the first time in days, you see is the spectral familiar Mr. Kitty appears on Beldan's shoulder, and he goes, "Yes, because you're not good at words."
Oh.
He just kind of looks at him and kind of scrunches his head.
Well, Beldan, you saved my skills more than once, my friend. I'm gonna miss you, but I know you'll be back.
I will. Maybe I can find some stuff out. I don't know what you guys plan on doing, but I'm gonna see if I can figure out. Maybe I can find some answers. I need to do what I need to do too, but I can also look for answers as to how to get to the Nine Hells. And I know that's a long-term play, but we need to figure that out, and we also need to learn where this creature is and where he took Isla. Maybe by me kind of going off for a little bit, maybe I can help with that too.
Standoff. I'm assuming standoff is there, right?
Yeah, everybody's there.
Yeah.
The whole party.
Yeah. Standoff walks up to Beldan and just looks him in the eye. Gets really close. He goes, "You smell like cat." And it turns around and walks away. Over his shoulder, Standoff looks back. He goes, "You know where to look. Find it."
At that, he kind of grabs his back, his pack, and slings Justice over his shoulder, and he goes, "I will. I'll be back."
Before he passes, like, I'll have hung back in the doorway, just kind of like probably a little awkwardly. I cleaned up my face, but I'm still in the bathroom robe. But when he passes me, I'm gonna give him one of the low curtsy I gave him the first time I met him.
And he he bows back.
Torrin quickly grabs an ale from the bar. You better come back. You owe me a set of bagpipes.
You just see it's just like his eyes roll. He's just like, I promise I'll come back with bagpipes, Torrin. And he's just,
and then you just hear, "Thank you, Lord Beldan."
And he just stops at that and just, and then walks out the door.
Standoff stops for a moment and goes,
Bye, tiny turd.
Oh my god, yes.
Perfect.
Get him back.
Sorry, chat.
That was
Some
not
jokes
the way I
we
was
make
expecting,
are
so
kind
sorry.
of, sorry, chat. Some jokes we make are
Needed that.
Forever.
inside
That was
jokes.
great.
So Beldan has temporarily left the party to go on his vision quest for Baranar.
Coyote.
Hopefully find some answers to the Rakshasa and several problems that have presented themselves to you guys.
The chat bids him good luck.
well,
Hopefully our buddy Christian can come back as soon as possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
now, in the light of that, Standoff, waves goodbye to Beldan and takes his pipe out and he throws a little bit of tobacco in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a couple puffs and he looks at his companions. And after a few moments after Beldan has gone past line of sight, he pulls the pipe out and he just goes, "Friends, can I please have your attention? I just want to thank you for getting me out of my trouble. I know that all of you were in much deeper trouble than I was, but to be part of your group it has been an honor. It has been a privilege. And to be told that my transgressions have been annulled, it's an amazing feeling. Now, from me to you, my transgressions are not as severe as yours. I mean, yours consider murder and homicide and
Metagas cuts you off. He goes, "No one's been able to prove that."
Okay, the undead lawyer, thank you very much. I did not know that you actually knew law. Good for you. Also, he just looks at him, just stares. You come from a good time. But my friends, me being a public nuisance and you getting me acquitted for my public nudity, I really do appreciate it.
Public nudity.
In turn, if you wish, I will go and search to find where this
Rakshasa.
Tarook, Rakashana,
Rasha Khan. Evil cat person. Where this evil cat person has gone.
Mr. Mittens, the murder kittens.
Mr. Murder Kitten, the murder kitten. Is that what I heard? What was that?
Close enough.
Close enough. All right. the murder kitten guy. I know Beldan is going to look for him, and he is a very wise man, and I trust his abilities. But please allow me to venture off and find something more. It's better to have two than one. My friends, I can never be more grateful to you to helping me escape my prison. And trust me, Murderow loves you for it. His hat tribbles.
Yep.
The only thing I wish I can bring with me is Tarook's pie.
I can, and you see he's getting a little emotion. He's like, I can give you a goodbye pie.
That's okay, big guy.
A goodbye pie is good, but wherever you get those pies would be better. But I cannot do that for you.
I'm gonna need a lot of pies. Just all the pies, he says as he grabs his horn of plenty of pies, and he just sticks his head in there. Just all of them, all different types of pies. And you see, and it starts like different, sort of apple, cherry, blueberry, gooseberry, like all of these.
And every single
pies.
pie that pops out, Standoff just tries to stuff into a bag, like smashing it and just crunching it, just like no, like
This is too
everything.
much change. I don't like change.
It's okay, big guy. It's okay.
Standoff looks at Torrin, and he stands. He walks up to him within 2 feet, and he looks him dead in the eyes, and he says, "Look to the east in 3 days. On the sunrise, I will be there."
Thank you, Standoff.
Standoff shakes himself out of it and goes, "I gotta go look some books."
Yes, you do, my friend.
And he starts casting magical steed.
Mm-hmm. Inside the light.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Oh
Right
God.
there,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
right there. And what forms in front of them is a Sasquatch that is just on 2 feet and is slightly balding. And he just jumps on its back while it's standing like a humanoid, stands up,
As you do.
and he just goes,
I'm in.
"Look to me, and I'll lead the way." And the Sasquatch just runs.
Out the front door goes a wizard in orange robes on a Sasquatch.
He's gonna end up right back in prison.
Yep.
And you just hear the voice of Mina right behind you. More than likely.
I give it a week.
Yeah.
From the
Give it 2
distance,
days.
you hear a very faint, "Hi-ho, Nilva! Away!"
And with that,
Into the sunset.
into the sunset,
Right.
Ride
Standoff,
Standoff.
the wizard
The setting moon.
rides. That's where we're gonna end the episode.
Oh God.
Uh,
All right.
just for clarification, I would like to thank Nate for jumping in as Standoff the Wizard and helping us through this whole arc of the Rakshasa and the return to
Yes.
Blind. And thank you for just coming along for the ride, man. I really appreciate
Absolutely, and thank you so much for having me. There is one more thing that is going to happen though.
it. Okay, what do you got?
Uh-oh.
after Standoff rides away,
Mm-hmm.
he had spoke to, I believe her name was Telemina.
Yeah, the owner of the luxurious light. Yeah, Philomena Bordeaux.
Yes.
The amber-skinned tiefling woman who owns the luxurious light. Yes.
Yes. So instead of riding off into the night, Standoff rides over and speaks to her.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
she's still in the light, but I'll do this real quick just for you kind of taking her aside. Okay, what do you got?
Ma'am, I request a room.
She just kind of looks at you. Okay.
You know I don't sleep often. And I don't have much gold. But I do have an offer that you cannot refuse.
Don't take this the wrong way, darling, but I find that very hard to believe.
Let me ask, how much do you pay in waste?
How much did what? What was that?
How much do you pay in waste?
In waste? I don't even think the DM understands the question, so I'm not going to answer in character yet.
Waste removal.
Waste removal. I'm not going to calculate that at 11:30 at night.
Just
but...
no.
I'm sorry. I'm breaking the fourth wall here. I'm not calculating.
Yeah, fourth wall at all you can. What I will say is that if you give me a room for as long as I sleep, just put your waste in that room and it will be taken care of. And we'll call it even.
Morbid curiosity will get you a ways, but
Roll a persuasion real quick.
oh no, that's the what have I done face.
No. All right, so I just rolled a 19. Bringing that up. Go to persuasion. I think it's a +3. I just want to make sure. Sorry, +2, 21.
Okay. I'm assuming. Did you mean to do this for the night before? Was that what you were trying to do?
No.
So basically,
I'm
you rode off and then came back to buy a room. That's what I'm trying to get.
Yeah.
Okay. No, as long as I understand. Yeah. Okay. You see a very hard look from Mina, and she kind of just measures you up and down, and just kind of like, okay, darling, you can pay for a room, and we'll take care of the waste, darling. It's...
Well, so you don't want free disposal. Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know how to read you,
And
darling.
Standoff lifts his hat,
Mm-hmm.
and the mimic in the chest opens his mouth
Uh-huh.
and just goes, "Boy." And he just puts it back down. And he goes, "Anything is pie. Any expense that you don't want can suffice."
Darling, we'll just rent the room for now. You're a strange one, but I like you, which is weird.
care if that says more about me or you.
Yeah, it's exactly the kind of tone that is kind of like, I like you, but I don't know why. Let's keep it that way, darling. And she kind of actually pats the mimic and about, and she walks out.
And stand-ups goes, I like you too. I don't know why either. I think it's because you're smaller than me. I don't know.
No.
But
And that's it.
Standoff just
Fade to black.
walks outside. If there's an ability to purchase a carriage or anything like that to take them.
Yeah.
to
No,
Green
yeah, I got
City.
you. Well, yeah, and we can handle that as far as and guys, wrapping up everything. We had a couple things that we were trying to do tonight. Hopefully we mentioned our buddy Christian. Hopefully we'll come back, and Beldan will come back. Nate, once again, thank you for coming in as Standoff, and thank you for helping us through this whole story arc with the Rakshasa. And clearly the story with the Rakshasa is not done.
No, it ain't.
But thank you for coming in and helping us. And who knows, we just might see Standoff back in the future for future adventures as you guys make your way. And probably next week we will probably have some decisions for the party to make, and we will continue our adventures in Thrandia. So
Yes. Now, just for y'all to know, Standoff is going to look for the portal to hell just like Beldan is. So you never know when he's going to show up again.
there you go.
Oh boy.
So,
Well, with that, thank you guys for watching. As always, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, tap the little bell on your YouTube app so you never miss an upload. And thank you guys for watching Dice Hard with a Vengeance.